The Prophet, peace be upon him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, said, I was shown the hellfire, and that the majority of its dwellers were women who were ungrateful. It was asked, do they disbelieve in Allah, or are they ungrateful to Allah? He replied, they are ungrateful to their husbands, and are ungrateful for the favours and the good charitable deeds done to them. If you have always been good, benevolent to one of them, and then she sees something in you not of her liking, she will say, I have never received any good from you. Who can relate to that? I met Abu Dhar, who was wearing a cloak, and his slave too was wearing a similar one. I asked about the reason for it. He replied, I abused a person by calling his mother with bad names. The Prophet said to me, O Abu Dhar, did you abuse him by calling his mother with bad names? You still have some characteristics of ignorance. Your slaves are your brothers, and Allah has put them under your command. So whoever has a brother under his command should feed him of what he eats, and dress him of what he wears. Do not ask them slaves to do things beyond their capacity power, and if you do so, then help them. While I was going to help this man, Ali ibn Abi Talib, Abu Bakr met me and asked, Where are you going? I replied, I am going to help that person. He said, Go back, for I have heard Allah's Messenger saying, when two Muslims fight, meet each other with their swords, both the murderer as well as the murdered will go to the hellfire. I said, O Allah's Messenger, it is all right for the murderer, but what about the murdered one? Allah's Messenger replied, he surely had the intention to kill his companion. When the following verse was revealed, it is those who believe and confuse not their belief with wrong, worshipping others besides Allah. The companions of Allah's Messenger asked, Who is amongst us who had not done injustice? Allah revealed, No doubt joining others in worship with Allah is a great injustice. The Prophet said, The signs of a hypocrite are three. Whenever he speaks, he tells a lie. Whenever he promises, he always breaks his promise. If you trust him, he proves to be dishonest. If you keep something as a trust with him, he will not return it. The Prophet said, Whoever has the following four characteristics will be a pure hypocrite, and whoever has one of the following four characteristics will have one characteristic of hypocrisy, unless and until he gives it up. 1. Whenever he is entrusted, he betrays. 2. Whenever he speaks, he tells a lie. 3. Whenever he makes a covenant, he proves treacherous. 4. Whenever he quarrels, he behaves in a very imprudent, evil, and insulting manner. Allah's Messenger said, Whoever establishes the prayers on the night of Qadr out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's rewards, not to show off, then all his past sins will be forgiven. Narrated Abu Huraira, Allah's Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, said, Whoever observes fasts during the month of Ramadan out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's rewards, then all his past sins will be forgiven. Narrated Abu Huraira, the Prophet said, Religion is very easy, and whoever overburdens himself in his religion will not be able to continue in that way. So you should not be extremists, but try to be near to perfection, and receive the good tidings that you will be rewarded, and gain strength by worshipping in the mornings, the afternoons, and during the last hours of the night. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, Allah's Messenger said, if a person embraces Islam sincerely, then Allah shall forgive all his past sins, and after that starts the settlement of accounts. The reward of his good deeds will be 10 times to 700 times for each good deed, and one evil deed will be recorded as it is unless Allah forgives it. If any one of you follows strictly his Islamic religion, then his good deeds will be rewarded 10 times to 700 times for each good deed, and a bad deed will be recorded as it is. Subhanallah. Once the Prophet came while a woman was sitting with me. He said, "Who is she?" I replied, "She is so-and-so," and told him about her excessive praying. He said disapprovingly, "Do good deeds, which is within your capacity, without being overtaxed, as Allah does not get tired of giving rewards, but surely you will get tired, and the best act of worship in the sight of Allah is that which is done regularly." The Prophet said, "Whoever said, 'None has the right to be worshipped but Allah,' and has in his heart good faith equal to the weight of a barley grain, will be taken out of hell. And whoever said, 'None has the right to be worshipped but Allah,' and has in his heart good faith equal to the weight of a wheat grain, will be taken out of hell. And whoever said, 'None has the right to be worshipped but Allah,' and has in his heart good faith equal to the weight of an atom, will be taken out of hell." Once a Jew said to me, "O the chief of believers, there is a verse in your holy book which is read by all of you, and had it been revealed to us, we would have taken that day on which it was revealed as a day of celebration." Umar bin al-Khattab asked, "Which is that verse?" The Jew replied, "This day I have perfected your religion for you, completed my favour upon you, and have chosen for you Islam as your religion." Umar replied, "No doubt we know when and where this verse was revealed to the Prophet. It was Friday, and the Prophet was standing at Arafah, i.e. the day of Hajj. A man from Najd with unkempt hair came to Allah's Messenger, and we heard his loud voice, but could not understand what he was saying till he came near, and then we came to know that he was asking about Islam. Allah's Messenger said, "You have to offer prayers perfectly 5 times in a day and night, 24 hours. The man asked, "Is there any more praying?" Allah's Messenger replied, "No, but if you want to offer the Nawafil prayers, you can." Allah's Messenger further said to him, "You have to observe fasts during the month of Ramadan." The man asked, "Is there any more fasting?" Allah's Messenger replied, "No, but if you want to observe the Nawafil fasts, you can." Then Allah's Messenger further said to him, "You have to pay the zakat, obligatory charity." The man asked, "Is there anything other than zakat for me to pay?" Allah's Messenger replied, "No, unless you want to give alms of your own." And then that man retreated, saying, "By Allah, I will neither do less nor more than this." Allah's Messenger said, "If what he said is true, then he will be successful. i.e. he will be granted paradise. Allah's Messenger said, a believer who accompanies the funeral procession of a Muslim out of sincere faith and hoping to attain Allah's reward and remains with it till the funeral prayer is offered and the burial ceremonies are over, he will return with a reward of 2 qirats. Each qirat is like the size of Mount Uhud. He who offers the funeral prayer only and returns before the burial will return with the reward of 1 qirat only. The Prophet said, abusing a Muslim is fusuk, an evildoing, and killing him is kufr, disbelief. Allah's Messenger went out to inform the people about the date of the night of decree, Al-Qadr, but there happened a quarrel between 2 Muslim men. The Prophet said, I came out to inform you about the date of the night of Al-Qadr, but as so-and-so and so quarrelled, its knowledge was taken away, I forgot it, and maybe it was better for you. Now look for it in the 7th, the 9th, and the 5th of the last 10 nights of the month of Ramadan. One day, while the Prophet was sitting in the company of some people, the angel Gabriel came and asked, what is faith? Allah's Messenger replied, faith is to believe in Allah, His angels, the meeting with Him, His apostles, and to believe in resurrection. Then he further asked, what is Islam? Allah's Messenger replied, to worship Allah alone and none else, to offer prayers perfectly, to pay the compulsory charity zakah, and to observe fasts during the month of Ramadan. Then he further asked, what is ihsan, perfection? Allah's Messenger replied, to worship Allah as if you see Him, and if you cannot achieve this state of devotion, then you must consider that He is looking at you. Then he further asked, when will the hour be established? Allah's Messenger replied, the answerer has no better knowledge than the questioner, but I will inform you about its portents. 1. When a slave lady gives birth to her master. When the shepherds of black camels start boasting and competing with others in the construction of higher buildings, and the hour is one of 5 things which nobody knows except Allah. The Prophet then recited, verily with Allah alone is the knowledge of the hour. Then that man, Gabriel, left, and the Prophet asked his companions to call him back, but they could not see him. Then the Prophet said, that was Gabriel who came to teach the people their religion. Abu Abdullah said, he, the Prophet, considered all that as a part of faith. Narrated An-Nu'man bin Bashir, I heard Allah's Messenger saying, both legal and illegal things are evident, but in between them are doubtful, suspicious things, and most of the people have no knowledge about them. So whoever saves himself from these suspicious things saves his religion and his honor, and whoever indulges in these suspicious, dubious things is like a shepherd who grazes his animals near the hima, private pasture of someone else, and at any moment he is liable to get in it. O people, beware. Every king has a hima, and the hima of Allah on the earth is His illegal, forbidden things. Beware, there is a piece of flesh in the body. If it becomes good, reformed, the whole body becomes good. But if it gets spoiled, the whole body gets spoiled, and that is the heart.